All of you who tried to stock up and hole up in your houses, you were all wrong. Only I, reborn, know the best place to survive the apocalypse. I sat up with a jolt, but the seatbelt yanked me back hard. Gasping for air, one hand on the horn, the other instinctively clutching my neck. The pain from the seatbelt was still burning through my nerves, but I knew it wasn't just the seatbelt. There was something more painful. Zombies. The zombie bites. Too real. How could it be so real? I let go of the horn, stopped honking. Even a dream shouldn't feel this real. I checked the time. June 20th. I clearly remember in the dream, the outbreak was on June 27th. And the day I got bitten was September 25th. From June 20th to the bite, those 3 months everything was so vivid. How could a dream have a beginning and an end and last 3 months? Most importantly, I can recall every detail clearly. I looked up. Beside me was the factory renovation project I was working on. The weather was scorching. If that wasn't a dream, then in 5 minutes, the client, who never contacts me proactively, would call me to tell me the payment for the project had come through and ask to switch to night work to cope with the heat. What I needed to do now was to wait quietly for 5 minutes and verify. You could say this was the longest 5 minutes of my life. The usually powerful air conditioner seemed to have stopped working. Sweat poured from my hair and skin. My t-shirt was soaked. I had no doubt if it weren't for the seat ventilation still doing its job, I'd probably have pissed my pants by now. The moment the clock ticked over, I felt an unexpected relief. I slapped my thigh. Damn, I was scaring myself for nothing. Wiped away the sweat. I picked up my phone to browse videos. The screen lit up. Client calling. I answered the phone, saying one thing but feeling another. I forced myself to calm down. Started thinking about how to handle this. Anyway, survival is a must. Since I've been through this beta test once, even if it wasn't long, I already have a lot of insights. The key thing is, my memories of these 3 months are exceptionally clear. For my survival, they are undoubtedly a powerful guide. I started the car to go home. At this point, establishing a secure base is the first step. My wife had a shift change today, so she was resting at home. When I got home, my wife was watching The Walking Dead in the bedroom. How fitting. No need to watch. In 6 days, you can experience it for real. It took 40 minutes to convince my wife. 1. I'm not crazy. 2. I'm not trying to separate or get a divorce. My wife finally realized I was joking with her. Who the hell would make up a story like that as a joke? TV show writers. Don't they all make up stories? Am I the kind of person who makes up stories to fool you? Didn't you fool me with your stories? It's 3:30 now. At 4, your mom will call you, saying your kitchen faucet is broken, and water is spraying everywhere. Bullshit. My mom is at the shop this afternoon. The shop had a power outage today, so she went home. Suddenly, my wife's phone rang. It was my mother-in-law. I gestured for my wife to answer. She hesitated, then answered. I casually turned on speakerphone. Honey, Mom's home. The shop had a power outage this afternoon. My wife's eyes went wide. You and Yang Guang come over for dinner tonight. My wife hung up in a daze, staring at me with shock and suspicion. Did you know in advance about the power outage? Still don't believe me? Don't worry, in 30 minutes, your mom will call, saying the faucet is broken. I'm not in a hurry. I turned on the computer, logged into Jihu, to see if there were any posts with solutions that I could learn from. My wife, on the other hand, started waiting anxiously for the call. Just after 4, the call from my mother-in-law came right on time. After my wife hung up, she stared at me blankly. What you said is true. Well, let's call it a dream. In the dream, how are me? My parents? And my sister? How about your mom? Your mom died at the mahjong parlor on the day of the outbreak. Your sister lost contact on day 14. Your dad and your mom held out at home for 55 days. What about me? You stayed hidden at our place, and I went out for food and got bitten. I hugged my wife tightly. This time, I'll definitely keep our family safe. When we got to my mother-in-law's house, we replaced the faucet, and also convinced my mother-in-law and my father-in-law, who had just come back. Now we can talk about how to survive the apocalypse. The most secure place has to be the vault at our bank. Thick walls and 6 layers of steel plates. Hard to get in any time. My wife's imagination is always so unique. My father-in-law couldn't stop laughing. Your vault, aside from being sturdy, is useless. No water. If we go in, we'll just eat through our supplies. That's Yang Guang's point. It won't be over by the end of September. How much stuff are you planning to bring in? I added one more jab. On the 10th day, water and power will be cut off. You won't even have enough air in that vault. Eat some fruit. Mother-in-law brings out a plate of fruit from the kitchen. Yang Guang, you've been through this. What do you suggest? I need to use all my brain power to think about my family's survival a week from now. Surviving the apocalypse requires the right time, place, and people. Right now, the heavens are clearly on my side. I have 7 extra days to prepare compared to others, even though I wasted half a day. In other aspects, I spent half an hour this afternoon scrolling through forums over 100 posts on survival in the apocalypse. Almost all of them were about hunkering down and scraping by. Makes sense when you think about it. Nowadays, city dwellers are mostly out of shape and can't tell wheat from weeds. Some might be able to run a half marathon, some can squat 60 kilos, But when it comes to the complex requirements of post-apocalyptic survival, their shortcomings are infinite. While their strengths are minimal, they lack the strength and courage to venture out, so naturally they just hunker down. Hunkering down consists of two main things: hunkering and scraping by. No kidding. There are two major schools of thought on hunkering down online: the high-rise apartment school and the standalone villa school. The villa school is further divided into suburban villa and rural villa. Of course, no matter which school, it's still a residence, and naturally it can't avoid the problems of a residence. Hunkering down. Disadvantage 1. Limited space. Limited number of occupants. High-rises are at most 300 square meters, villas at most 500 square meters. Long-term, they can only house 3 to 5 people. Material needs and storage space change inversely. The more people, the less space for supplies. In one article, there was even a family of 7 living in 140 square meters, staying indoors. Hunkering down for 2 years, a magical setup. 2. Weak self-sufficiency. Modern residences require a lot of public utilities to function. After the water and power go out, the quality of life drops rapidly, even becoming extremely harsh, or it reveals your hiding spot. For example, flushing the toilet after the water is cut off will inevitably show that someone is living upstairs, and even that you have ample supplies. 3. Weak defense. Some articles suggest installing bulletproof glass, high-strength security doors. Young people, have you ever seen someone remove a window or door frame? I've done even weirder things. Think a doorstop can completely block a fire door? How strong do you think that thing is? 4. Poor structural integrity. High-rises are barely acceptable, but a villa with a yard? Are you planning to put a glass roof over the yard? Otherwise, what if zombies climb over the wall? That glass roof, can it withstand the weight of zombies dropping onto it? Can it resist a deliberate attack? 5. Poor storage and transport capacity. Storage isn't just about having space. You also need suitable handling facilities and passages. I saw one author who bought 300 bags of rice, 300 bags of flour, and planned to move them up to the 20th floor. How wide is your door? Can a truck fit through? What's the elevator's weight capacity? Can it go up? What's the floor load capacity for pallets? How high can we stack them? How much do 300 bags of rice weigh? How many bags can you carry at once? With that kind of strength, why not go fight zombies? Personal energy sources have limited capacity to deal with water and power outages. Many people realize the importance of solar power and water purification, but many people only buy 10 square meters of solar panels with a 10 kilowatt-hour battery, yet want to run a water purifier, a fridge, TV, electric blanket, fan, a bunch of household appliances. What were they thinking? Did they calculate the total power? Weak waste management capabilities. Every article ignores packaging waste. They pretend it doesn't exist. But what about kitchen waste and sewage? How are they handled? A normal person produces about 2 kilograms of waste per day. With 3 to 5 people, the house would be buried in 6 months. My wife and her parents surround me, looking helpless. You came up with this in half an hour? In my dreams, I've been agonizing over it for 3 months. I found a place. I've already chosen the location. I smiled at my wife. But we should first finalize the team. My wife and I are dinks, double income, no kids. Her parents are alive. My father has passed away. My mother lives with us. We have a black Labrador retriever. My father-in-law has a big orange cat. My wife also has a younger sister. She's currently in a neighboring province, working as a resident doctor at a provincial hospital. A basic team of 5 people, 1 cat, 1 dog. My father-in-law started a business back in the day. He can fix machines, knows electrical work, has a driver's license. He can drive large vehicles. I myself know carpentry, bricklaying, and welding. I can also do basic shelter construction. The 2 of us can handle the labor, and the others can lend a hand. I'm confident that we can build the shelter. First, call your sister back. If she has a boyfriend, he can come too. Where exactly are you planning to take shelter? June 20th, Apocalypse Survival Squad. First preparation meeting. Living room of my father-in-law's house. Attendees: father-in-law, mother-in-law, my wife as observer. Discussion: dog, cat, 7 blueprints spread on the floor, flattened with shoes and cups at the corners. My wife takes minutes on her tablet. The TV is scrolling through images of the building's interior and exterior. On the laptop, a 3D building model. I'm using chopsticks to give a presentation, presenting the project. I'm not comfortable without a pointer in hand. Target building, or rather, fortress, located at the southeast corner of the intersection. Construction started in 2014. Frame structure: reinforced concrete monolithic casting, 5 stories high in total, 2 freight elevators and 2 spiral staircases. Each floor area is 830 square meters. The top floor has a 640 square meter accessible rooftop, originally designed for cold storage and office. During construction, they drew on the experience of the Great Earthquake in 2008. Lessons learned: They deliberately reinforced the building, walls and floors 20% thicker than typical cold storage. Makes the building earthquake and impact resistant. Excellent thermal and acoustic insulation. I point at the screen with a stick, explaining to the family, is the cold storage part finished? My father-in-law keenly grasps the key point. If it's finished, the insulation inside the cold storage would be no concern at all. But an enclosed cold storage, ventilation, like the baby's vault, has issues, and using open flames inside it is extremely dangerous. It's not finished. In 2016, the main structure and supporting water and electrical facilities were completed, but the building inspection took 2 years to pass because it was actually an illegal building. I pulled up the internal photos, found the corresponding photo, pointing at it. I continue introducing. In 2019, they started laying the cold storage using a 50mm cement mortar base, 50mm expanded panel insulation layer, 200mm sandwich structure insulation layer, composite structure with a 30mm fireproof rock wool interlayer. Inside the sandwich insulation layer are the refrigeration system pipes. The storage body is about 90% complete, but the ammonia refrigeration equipment hadn't been installed yet. Then the pandemic hit. The company went bankrupt, so the project stopped. So this place is an unfinished building. No water or electricity supply. My mother-in-law grabs the big orange cat trying to escape, pulls it back with one hand, and rubs it hard. Of course not. Last year, a new energy forklift company was attracted to invest here. They like the soundproofing of the cold storage part. They make BYD blade batteries for supporting production. The stamping equipment they use is noisy, so they took the unfinished part of the cold storage and remodeled it to install integrated equipment. I pull out current photos, pointing them out one by one. A new energy company, they always like to use black tech. The first floor of this building is a loading platform. The second floor is the office area. Above the third floor, there are no windows, so they used electrochromic power generating glass to make a glass curtain wall. For the east, west, and south walls above the third floor and the rooftop platform, they covered them. The electricity generated goes through a charge controller placed on the fifth floor in the form of 800 volts DC, outputting stable DC power. The design of this building has an annual generation capacity of 300 megawatts. Of course, actual output isn't that ideal, and future weather extremes will be severe. I estimate maybe 20% of the capacity. That would be a godsend. I spread my hands. What is 20% in electricity? 60 megawatts. Deducting transmission and step-up losses, about 40,000 kilowatt hours. Knock it down by 70%. Still 12,000 kilowatt hours. More than 30 kilowatt hours per day is enough. My father-in-law calculated. So, looking at this, our problem is storing electricity. That's actually not hard. They have a small showroom across from the building. It'll be delivered the day after tomorrow. 5 sets of automotive blade battery packs, 10 blade battery modules, can store a total of 950 kilowatt hours. That's enough storage. What's the output capacity? The automotive battery packs can do 6 kilowatts, the battery modules 1 kilowatt. They can be used in groups, alternating charging and discharging. Everyone nodded. We all breathed a sigh of relief. We have a source of electricity and a way to store it. Next is how to use it. The whole building is designed for 400 kilowatts, 100 kilowatts per floor. That should be more than enough, but I scratched my head. We basically can't use the pre-installed electrical system in the building, including power, lighting, and low voltage. The reason is simple: noise and aging equipment. I swipe to the aerial view of the factory. The Fortress's transformer, per national regulations, is located in an open area near the wall. The substation too. And since this is an industrial facility, the lights used are all high-power explosion-proof lamps. They are indeed bright, but they also consume a lot of power. Moreover, these lights have built-in cooling, so if we use the existing power system, there will be transformer noise, lamp noise, and transformer wear. Noise will attract zombies and people. If equipment breaks down, we don't have the ability to repair it. My father-in-law thought for a moment and said, if we generate and store electricity with enough capacity, let's just build our own circuit. Glass power generation, output through the charger to the car, using the blade battery pack, then through the battery pack's 6 kilowatt external discharge to use. You need to consider if you can buy timed circuit breakers to achieve balanced use of each battery pack. I quickly added. My father-in-law nodded. My wife signaled me. She had noted it down. Nice work. We have 5 battery packs, a 2+2 combo with 1 backup. As long as we control simultaneous power use under 10 kilowatts, the power will be safe and stable. The electricity problem is solved. Next is water. The water issue should be divided into 3 parts: water intake, storage, and drainage. First, water intake and storage. 10 days after the outbreak, water and power were cut. Returning to the project, I was in my element explaining. Water had been cut to Daewoo Pavilion for 13 days. After 7 days of heavy rain, there was a 46-day dry spell. So, we need to stockpile at least 60 days worth of water. Based on our current water usage, we need 43 tons. That number is crazy, not to mention how huge a 40-ton tank would be. The floor might not even hold it. Right, so we need to do everything we can to conserve water and use it in stages, and recycle it. Well, you two think about it tonight. How to save on domestic water. The father-in-law has the final say. My wife nods obediently. It's nice if I were in charge. He wouldn't listen to me. There are 2 5-ton tanks in the building. They need a lot of purified water for production. The water purifier has enough capacity, but it's on the first floor. I'm planning to remove some parts and put them in the cold storage area, making it look like the purifier is broken. I take a sip of water. A few days ago, I found a well in the flower bed on the south side of the building. It's a pump well, and the pipes are pre-laid. The water outlet is hidden in the pipe shaft. There's an exit on the second floor. I estimate that with a small 50-meter lift pump, we can draw water. It was probably the previous company trying to illegally extract groundwater to cool their equipment. I pulled out the test drawings and marked the pipe locations. I plan to seal off the pipe shaft on the first and second floors completely, and extend the pipe to the 4th floor. We'll use that well water. So, we need a separate water purifier. Also, in both water tanks, we need to install UV disinfection lamps to sterilize the stored water at all times. Finally, waste disposal. That's a real big issue. A person produces about 2 kilograms of waste per day, which cannot be ignored. Solid waste and gray water must be separated. For solid waste, use a portable RV toilet with biodegradable liquid. Equip double black water tanks. Dump them together after confirming it's safe. For gray water pipes, only use the one in the sealed pipe shaft. Keep the pipe in the other shaft dry. I kick the dog away. Its butt is right on the pipe shaft. Gray water is divided into 2 parts. Since kitchen wastewater contains oil, collect it in a tank, filter out the oil with a grease separator, and the remaining water, along with other gray water, collect and store it together. When it rains, they secretly dump it into the city's sewage system. I toss a treat to calm the dog down. The key to dumping sewage is being discreet and quiet. We combine this with water conservation and recycling water. Minimize the amount of sewage as much as possible, thus reducing the risk of exposure. My father-in-law is very cautious. Are the 2 sewage pipes connected? They are not connected. Even the septic tanks are separate. When sealing the manhole, use foam filler to fill it. Try to prevent the sewage from echoing in the manhole. Good. Dad is really thorough. I'm truly impressed. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. The doorbell rings. My mom is here. I see my mom carrying pastries she bought, and as soon as she comes in, she's so busy talking that she forgets to eat. I quickly go to the kitchen and take the food from the steam oven to the table. You guys, come eat and talk. What are you all up to? Can't even take a break to eat? My wife tries to explain to my mom, but I stop her. Nothing much. It's summer now, so I was thinking, why not take the whole family on a vacation? Just a few days of fun. You and your parents and in-laws pick the place. Listen to their opinions. The place hasn't been decided yet. Just trust me on this. Call your sister to come along too. Okay, Mom. My mom sees the food is laid out, greets my mother-in-law, and goes to square dancing. Why didn't you tell your mom the truth? Because she's a veteran who served the people for 50 years. I sit down and grab a steamed bun, and start eating. My phone on the sofa buzzes. A text. My wife hops up and grabs the phone. Look who texted. I take a bite of the bun. Not afraid I'll see some secret message from one of your girlfriends? I stuff a piece of pork belly in my mouth. As I bite into it, the juice spurts out from the crack. The rich sauce immediately fills my mouth. The slightly hot juice, with a hint of charred aroma, the taste of the Maillard reaction, is so intoxicating. After savoring that first bite, I exhale with a sigh of pure relaxation. A high-pitched screech comes from my wife. I jerk my head around. The phone is right in front of my face, almost filling my entire vision. Unknown number. I know what you're doing. For a second, everything seemed to stop. Only the phone's indicator light showed. A flashing new message. Still struggling to prove that time was passing. I'm Sunshine, an accounting degree graduate who's never worked as an accountant. What I need to calculate now is the survival of my family through the apocalypse. If the math is right, we might live. If it's wrong, we're doomed. I swallowed the food in my mouth and started the countdown. 432. The phone screen lit up again. A call was coming in. Same unknown number. My wife tossed the phone onto the table and hid behind me, gripping my clothes tightly with both hands. I answered the call and put it on speaker. A clear female voice came through. Scary, huh? Did I scare you? Ha 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 ha. I'm fine. But your sister's freaked out. No way. I sent my sister a text saying I changed my number. Check your phone. Maybe your mobile data's off, or you're not connected to Wi-Fi. How could this happen? I gotta go. You calm her down. I'll call her tomorrow. Beep, beep, beep. I shook the phone at my wife. Hung up. My wife was shaking with anger. That little brat's gone crazy. You drive to pick her up tomorrow. Have her write a prescription for a home medicine kit list. Buy 20 sets. Okay. Why buy them over there? That's another province, less likely to draw attention. And I gritted my teeth. Kids fooling around. You need to discipline her. The family finished dinner quickly and went back to studying on the living room floor. My father-in-law, cup in hand, said slowly and calmly, sewage is actually not that simple. Feces is easy enough. With enough degradation agent, the residue is minimal. It all goes into the septic tank. That septic tank has to be well hidden. Avoid being noticed by people with ill intent. Someone using this tank, don't even think about cleaning it for the next few years. According to the design specs, this septic tank's planned cleaning cycle is 12 months. Based on 30 liters per person per day, it can serve 200 people, and we only have 6. So for 30 years, we won't need to clean it. I did some quick math. What about them? My mother-in-law pointed at the cat and dog. The dog's no problem. The dog's toilet can use biodegradable materials. I pushed away the dog that came up to me. The cat's a bit of a problem. Cat feces are biodegradable, but not all types of cat litter are biodegradable. We looked at Juzuo. The orange cat's name is awesome, isn't it? He stood up and waddled into the litter box. I have to say, this nearly 20-pound fat orange cat truly has the demeanor of a general. He lazily glanced sideways at the group watching him work. He curled his lip in disdain at the two-legged ones and went about completing his routine. He walked out of the litter box, shook off and jumped onto the couch, and lay down comfortably. If we can find biodegradable cat litter, we'd better bring Juzuo along. My mother-in-law's voice was low. I glanced at Juzuo. He was lying there comfortably grooming himself, not even looking at me. I turned back and gritted my teeth. I'll reach out to my friends to see if I can find suitable cat litter. If I find some, we'll take him. But if I really can't, then we'll just stock up on food and water at home, and let him fend for himself. As soon as I said that, I felt a gaze from the sofa. I shuddered. I turned my head to look. Juzuo was still leisurely licking his paws. After discussing sewage, the next focus is solid waste. This is a question that I've read through hundreds of forum posts, articles, and answers, and never found a solution to, especially when many authors stockpile. They especially like to hoard prepackaged food, snacks, bottled water, drinks, jug water. According to the general packaging rate of 1.5 billion for food, and a 300 million expansion ratio, classmates with storage area over 150 cubic meters will, within a year, be surrounded by over 3 cubic meters of plastic bags, and plastic bags won't be neatly stacked, not to mention the inevitable food residue inside the packaging and juices that will rot and spoil. By then, zombies might not even want to bite you in the room. Solid waste is impossible to avoid entirely. At least when stocking up, packaging is inevitable. As the time spent in the shelter extends, and supplies are consumed, solid waste will also increase. This waste can neither be ignored nor thrown away directly. The former will directly destroy the living environment of the shelter. The latter will not only attract zombies, but could also attract people with ill intentions. The solution is divided into two aspects, from both source and treatment aspects. I shook the cola in my hand, showing it to everyone. In terms of packaging for stored supplies, we must firmly avoid bottles, cans, barrels, and the like. Packaging with fixed volumes, and materials like glass, metal, and ceramics. Then you won't have cola to drink in the future? That's a small problem. Stock a few 5-liter carbon dioxide cylinders. Mixed with cola syrup, it becomes cola. They can also serve as backup, fire extinguishers, and weapons. And baking soda and citric acid can produce carbon dioxide. Such a simple operation won't stump me, this food science major accountant. As for waste disposal, we need to introduce 2 small machines. I opened up an image. On the left is a small, slow-speed vertical single-shaft curved double-roll crusher. Unit dimensions, 60 centimeters by 46 centimeters by 122 centimeters. Crushing size no larger than 40 centimeters. It can crush paper, plastic, thin-walled metal, and textiles. Maximum crushed particle size, 3 millimeters. I picked up a soybean to test it. On the right is a twin-screw flat plate compressor, with a downforce of 28 tons, combined with a mold. It can compress the crusher's output into bricks of 15 centimeters by 20 centimeters. These bricks can be stacked. Both machines have a motor power of 48 kilowatts. I pulled the blueprint over. This is a corner on the 4th floor. Here's where the owner planned the location for a baghouse electrostatic precipitator. There are a few small rooms used as offices and spare parts storage. We'll store the compressed bricks in there. Install 5 or 6 15-watt UV ozone lamps. The whole room will be filled with ozone. Plus, ultraviolet radiation can maximize the inhibition of bacteria and microorganism growth. I calculated, so for the 6 of us, in about a month, that's only 0.2 cubic meters of solid waste. How's the maintenance on the equipment? All mechanical structure, basically no circuit boards, and no wearing parts to speak of. It's all hard metal on metal materials. The screws are standard and non-standard parts, just metal lumps that aren't easy to break. Then we need to stock up on motors. My father-in-law is very handy with machinery. 4 sets of retaining rings, clamps, and fasteners. The motors of the 2 machines are interchangeable. They also serve as backups for the lift pump motor. Plus prepare 2 extra motors as spares. When it comes to hard contact, is the noise loud? Not loud. I chose slow-speed equipment. Though it's time-consuming, the noise is low. Operating noise is only 70 to 80 decibels. My father-in-law was very pleased. Then we'll make a shed out of plywood and attach soundproofing foam. No problem. Finally, the abandoned option. This is relatively the simplest. In the building, the 3rd and 5th floors originally were both fully built cold storage rooms. The cold storage on the 4th floor is missing one corner unfinished. Now, the baghouse dust collector and the electrostatic precipitator location. Floors 3, 4, and 5 all have pipes that connect here, and there are sound-absorbing panels inside the pipes. Ventilation and noise control are both not a problem. The external part of the entire dust removal system is the electrostatic dust collection tunnel. The tunnel has dozens of layers of metal mesh to absorb dust. Although called mesh, they are actually metal grid plates made of 5mm thick metal. They have various sized gaps for airflow. Getting through this mesh array is also very difficult, not to mention the tunnel, which is only about 40 centimeters in diameter. How are you so familiar with this place? Mother-in-law, she asked the question everyone wanted to ask, because this is exactly the project I'm working on. After the owner took over this abandoned cold storage, they chose our company through a bid waiver to build the production workshop and decorate the office area. There are 13 people in total, 4 local, 9 from out of town. Tonight, all of them are having a dinner party. One of them will test positive for COVID. Tomorrow, everyone will be quarantined at home until the zombie outbreak. We'll watch from the surveillance cameras. The cameras inside and outside the building, although they're all installed, haven't been handed over to the owner, so it's not a big problem. The park's surveillance has been handed over to the owner, but they won't see what we're doing inside the building. The most important thing is, I smirk slightly. The owner has, according to the progress, paid the 700,000 yuan project payment, and the payment period with my suppliers hasn't come due yet. Now I have 3.8 million yuan in cash, and I can still get another batch of goods from the suppliers. Alright. Now we can say we can do whatever we want with this building. How do you plan to use this building? This building has a total of 5 floors. The first floor is the loading platform and the water purification equipment room. Currently, there's a lot of construction debris on the first floor. The first floor is basically kept as is, both to confuse the owner and to fake the appearance of an abandoned building. 2 floors are the office area and exhibition hall. Currently, raw materials are all stacked there, and we're not planning to move them. Again, to fake the abandoned look, the stairs from the 2nd to the 3rd floor have already been blocked off with stainless steel frames and wooden boards as a door barrier. We just need to use rebar to weld a few stiffeners, weld them to the steel frame of the stairs, making it one solid piece. Zombies won't be able to climb up. The cold storage on floors 3 and 5 are built, but we don't need them. On one hand, to confuse intruders, because floors 3 to 5 have no windows. Even I got disoriented the first time I went in. Which floor is this? By remodeling the space, we create spatial illusions to hide the 4th floor. On the other hand, it can act as a soundproof layer to block sound from the 4th floor. The 4th floor is the main living area, including living and storage areas. The 4th floor is 830 square feet. Dust removal equipment takes up 170 square feet. The living area is 200 square feet. The storage area is 460 square feet. You mean the cold storage on the 4th floor has internal structures? My father-in-law is amazing. Just 3 words, and he spotted the key point. The owner originally planned to build a lab on the 3rd floor, one that required soundproofing. They made a prefab soundproof room. A prefab soundproof room, as the name suggests, it's a portable building with soundproofing. The walls, floor, and ceiling are all factory-made. They're assembled on site. The prefab parts integrate doors and windows, and plumbing, electrical, lighting, etc. Is the 200 square feet divided into rooms? Do we need a crane to install the roof? No crane needed. The panel joints are structural components. The floor and walls are assembled, and the ceiling can be pulled up using its built-in pulleys. Pulled up. I showed my father-in-law the installation video. The structure has several rooms. There's a transition room, 2 changing rooms, small, 20 square feet total, plus 3 more rooms, each 20 square feet. These rooms are on 2 sides, with a 120 square foot hall in the middle. So we need to build a room for Bebe. We don't have to remove the walls of the transition room and changing rooms. It's just a 20 square foot room. The removed walls can be used to partition a toilet in the hall. As for the kitchen, I figure we'll be cooking not traditional Chinese food, since stir-frying produces too much smoke and noise. Air fryers and steam ovens will be our main cooking tools. Then I'll have an easy time from now on. The mother-in-law smiled slightly. Doing dishes hasn't been solved yet. We use a dishwasher now. You won't allow disposable containers. My wife always gets to the main point. Just kidding. Who wants to do dishes? The dishwasher must work. I've forgotten how to wash dishes by hand, and dishwashers use less water than hand washing. Electricity is needed, but we can always make room for it. A dishwasher is necessary. The night we first drew up the blueprints, my wife and I went to my father-in-law's house to discuss shelter for the apocalypse. I immediately explained that both water and electricity are available. Just need to add a small booster pump to ensure water pressure for the dishwasher. I also asked my father-in-law for advice. I don't know much about electrical circuits. Could you take a look? We have 5-blade battery packs, outputting 20 volts, bringing them into the living area. 2. In a group, rotating. Replace one group each week as backup. What components are needed? My father-in-law took out paper and pen to calculate. A 60-amp power cabinet. The output needs 3-tier control switch groups. It's almost 10 o'clock. Today is mainly about reaching a consensus. Being able to plan this far already exceeds expectations. My wife and I decided to go home first. My father-in-law lives on the 6th floor. I suddenly had the idea to take the stairs. In the future, there won't be an elevator. The stairwell of a high-rise building. Hardly anyone uses it. Tucked away in the corner of the building. No outside light. The lights flicker. The atmosphere instantly turns creepy. I joked with my wife, but she ignored me. Awkwardly, we reached the 2nd floor. There aren't even windows. Only small ceiling lights flickering occasionally. We've never taken the stairs down before. Now it looks exactly like a cold storage stairwell. As soon as I finished speaking, I looked down. Orange had somehow appeared. It jumped into my arms. And then we reached the 1st floor. We'll take the elevator to send you back up. Turning the last flight of stairs, the fire door on the 1st floor was blocked by an iron gate. I knocked on the gate. The knock had just faded. A shrill roar exploded in my ears. Zombies. Earlier than expected. The safety door crashed down. Bloody, skinless zombies, twisting and roaring through the gate. Countless hands reached through the gaps. The smell of blood and rot hit my nose. Luckily, I stepped back and wasn't caught. I quickly ran up the steps. Seeing the iron gate held the zombies, I breathed a sigh of relief. I turned to grab my wife, but she was pointing behind me. I turned around. A few zombie rats with mangy fur were climbing over the zombies through the gate. The front one had already fallen to the ground and quickly lunged toward the stairs. I fell into despair. I closed my eyes, and then a meow sounded. The zombie roars instantly disappeared. I snapped my eyes open. Everything was bright. I was sitting on the sofa. Sue was lying in my arms. My father-in-law was writing and drawing at the dining table. My wife was looking at me with concern. What time is it? A little past 8:30. So early? Yeah, you asked my dad to calculate the materials. Then you fell asleep. You woke up after just a few minutes. Juzuo stretched, got up from my arms. Its gait was even a bit cocky. My father-in-law had finished the material list. I took a photo and sent it to our partner appliance store with a message: prepare double the stock. Pick it up first thing tomorrow. Dad, I've thought about it. Just make partitions on the 2nd and 3rd floors with railings. No, what if rats and cockroaches become zombies? They won't hold me back at all. Just as I finished, my wife jumped in. Use bulletproof glass from our bank to seal the hallway? Not realistic, I explained. 10mm regular tempered glass. Production takes 5 days. The bank's 30mm multi-layer composite glass takes 15 to 20 days and may not even be available. Plus, tempered glass installation requires a frame. The smaller the glass, the denser the frame. More joints, heavier weight. If installed improperly, it could collapse on its own. A sledgehammer would break it. Won't withstand anything. Finally decided, the only feasible option is to pour concrete as a gravity barrier. The previous owner renovated the 2nd floor. Cement, mortar base, and self-leveling sand and gravel. All the cement is still there. It'd be a waste not to use it. The first zombie in the complex appeared at noon on the 2nd day after the outbreak. We have plenty of time during the night of the outbreak day to fill the stairwell with concrete, pipe shafts, and electrical shafts. Use staggered ceiling for the 4th floor elevator circuit. Add a circuit breaker, destroy the control panel or replace parts. Completely seal off the paths from other floors to floors 3, 4, and 5. I don't get it. Silly boy. When they open the elevator, they see 5 buttons. Who would believe there are only 4 floors? My father-in-law's cunning made me smile knowingly. I found out the elevator is domestically made. Contacted the local service provider. Subtly indicated that there's a floor I don't want people to go directly to. They understood instantly. Your place is a spa, right? I know. There's a ready solution. Use a call bell instead. Long press or enter a password to access. It's not compliant. Install it yourself. I quickly ordered 2 panels. Available tomorrow, noon. In terms of space layout, for storage, I'm giving up cardboard boxes on the floor. Choose warehouse pallets, 1.5 to 2 meters. Plastic pallets. Static load capacity, 1 ton. Stacking height, 1.6 meters. Approximately 2 to 3 cubic meters. 460 square meters. Storage aisle width compressed to 1 meter. Double-sided rose leaf fire break gaps. Can fit 180 pallets. Take out 1 box. 4 storage areas. Use the remaining 2nd floor boards to make hydroponic boxes. Grow vegetables. Along the outer edge of the living area, make 60 meters long of 4-level, 1.6 meter high continuous shelves, easy to access and can store supplies. Shelves and pallets are in stock. A few kilometers from the cold storage, That's the manufacturer. I went to check this afternoon. Ample inventory. Immediately bought up most of their stock. Got a discount. Also negotiated 50% deposit. Balance on delivery. 30-day payment term. How can you grow vegetables inside with no sunlight? LED full spectrum grow lights. 100 square meters. About 8 kilowatts. Though not as good as targeted dimming, they can still grow things. The plan is basically in place. My wife and I were about to head home. Before leaving, I stared at Juzuo and told my mother-in-law, remember to pack up Juzuo's things. We'll move them over later. Juzuo's tail wagged happily. His eyes opened wide. The first thing I did was log into Weibo. At 6:30 a.m. on June 21, a US F-35 crashed in Japan. The pilot ejected, but the jet hit the reactor shield of a Chinese nuclear plant, causing heavy casualties and radiation. I even suspect the zombies came from that. The top trending topic on Weibo was exactly that. A US military plane crashed at a Japanese nuclear plant. I sighed and turned off the screen. What's meant to come will come. Life can only rely on yourself. Step by step, I woke my wife. They had already talked on the phone yesterday, and the proposal for a family outing got a positive response. My sister-in-law even used her night shift to prepare a prescription and send it to my wife. My mom also got up. The three of us had a simple breakfast and divided the tasks. I would contact local supplies. My wife would drive to pick up my sister-in-law, first get the e-prescription and buy medicine, and my mom would wander around. I didn't let her participate in the preparations. I had 3 considerations. First, she's over 70, more than 10 years older than my in-laws, so she can't do much. Second, she has many friends. Sudden busyness might leak information, but she has served the people for 50 years, loyal and reliable. If she knew the truth, she'd definitely report it, which would disrupt the stockpiling. You drive the Denza 9. It's bigger than our BYD Tang DMP. Comfortable and spacious. It's fully charged. Can run 320 kilometers. Pure electric my ass. The gas at that small station is cheap. Fill up and buy 440-liter gas cans. Fill them up, put them under the stuff and bring them back. Buy whatever snacks you want. We won't have the chance later. The stuff I ordered from the factory all comes in large packages. Don't touch them before that day. After seeing them off, I went to pick up the electrical supplies I ordered. In the elevator control panel, the panel uses password plus verification and hardware authorization, a combined method. The person in charge curiously asked for the address. I joked it was for a bayonet fighting brotherhood, which made him turn pale. Then I went to Zhongmu Grain and Oil Company to order rice, flour, and grains with a shelf life of 3 years. Based on 1.5 pounds per person per day, I stored a 3-year supply of staples and grains. Our family doesn't use much cooking oil, so enough for 3 months. I bought 12 bottles of soybean oil. I added butter for Western dishes and desserts. We don't eat much flour, so I got 5 kilograms bags, 10 bags plus 5 bags of cake flour to improve our meals. I requested palletizing, wrapping with stretch film, delivery to my warehouse, arriving tomorrow. I called to urge the shelf yard to deliver in the afternoon. Collected 30 pallets provided free by the Grain and Oil Company. Just use them for rolling. Give the stuff in the car to my father-in-law. Take him to the construction site. He'll assemble the electrical panel and circuits. In the afternoon, I'll take the high-speed rail to the provincial capital. I have 2 purposes for going to the provincial capital. First, to find a friend, borrow a 40-foot refrigerated box truck to transport goods to the cold storage, both to explain the flow of goods and to keep the transport covert. Second, to find a food company, purchase FD, freeze-dried dehydrated vegetables, soup packets, and meal kits, soft can clearance supply chain ingredients, frozen meat products. 1 container is 78 cubic meters, frozen goods enough for the whole family for 3 years. The key is that the truck's refrigeration unit is mobile. Plug it in, take it down, set up a canopy, and it becomes a cold room within a cold room. Alternative insulation materials for refrigerators. We also have plenty in the evening. I drove back to the company warehouse with a full load of goods. My father-in-law had already arrived. We do a test power, hookup, and swap vehicles. The engine and grain oil arrived. The shelves also arrived. Someone asked me if I had taken the job. The township supermarket project is arriving, gradually. The electricity is all set. Soundproof panel room. Materials. I used a forklift to lift them into the elevator, move them to the 4th floor. To install the frame, just screw it in forklift holding the board, align the holes and screw it in. It's hard to align the holes alone, isn't it? Baby came back in the afternoon. They helped me keep an eye on it. Close the warehouse door. We took a taxi to the high-speed rail station. To get the BYD Tang on the way, my father-in-law asked, are all your plans just about hiding now? If you can't survive, how do you escape? I looked at the traffic light tomorrow. Take your Denza the 9th and my Tang to the 4S dealership for maintenance. Both are DMP models, full tank and full battery, can run over 1,200 kilometers. Also, fill the Tang's off-road auxiliary fuel tank. Today I had baby bring back 160 octane gasoline. Total range over 2,500 kilometers. BYD, super hybrid, strong power and high-speed fuel. Efficient tank, pure electric, over 240 kilometers. Your car 260 kilometers, suitable for silently crossing zombie zones. I'll replace both cars with off-road run flat tires. After the 27th, block the stairs and weld a protective mesh cage. Park the cars at the very back of the first floor loading dock. Seal the outside with drywall. If anything happens, just crash through the wall. We get in the car, in. Cold storage has an escape chute, it's a pillar. The owner let me wrap it up, place energy-absorbing material underneath, we just slide down holding it. When we move in, everyone needs to practice. After getting the car, we went to the agricultural machinery market, DJI plant protection. The drone has strong power. Long flight time, but it's expensive, so I'll rent one on credit, book a pilot, meet up on the afternoon of the 27th, don't mind taking him along to survive. At 8 p.m., we're not going home, just grab a quick bite on the roadside. Go back to the cold storage to test the explosion-proof lights. All 8 groups of 64 explosion-proof lights on the top of the cold storage are fully on. It's quite loud. With only one group on, the machine is inaudible. Decided to change to 2 lights per group. Opened the switch and found the neutral wires were paralleled, so we disconnected them. Left only 2 wires. After turning on the lights, almost silent. Finished modifying in half an hour. All light sets assembled. Left wires at the switch. Set up a secondary switch linkage in the living area. If it weren't for the post-apocalypse with no internet, we'd even make it smart controlled. Watched my father-in-law build the prefab house. No problem. We each took a forklift and kept working. The prefab house was built by 11:30. Tomorrow, we'll fix it with structural adhesive and silicone. Install the seams inside. Wait until the 27th. Then go to the 3rd floor to check. The stairwell is sealed. 15 meters wide, 24 meters high, 4.2 meter, deep triangular space, 756 cubic meters. All concrete would need 17 tons. The stairs can bear about 3.3 tons. Can't seal it completely. Have to demolish the stairs. Cutting and breaking is too troublesome. Too noisy. Might as well blast a mine. Explosives are tightly controlled. Ammonium nitrate isn't hard to get. I was just about to say, suddenly realized the danger, and stopped myself. Aren't you a liberal arts student? And your chemistry is bad. This isn't what school taught. We confirmed. On the night of the 27th, seal the fire door with cement, plant explosives on the stairs, and blow up the stairs early morning of the 28th. Father and son go back to the city to soak and grill skewers, figuring out which appliances to bring. Dishwasher, steam oven, air fryer, water purifier, electric kettle, rice cooker, electric water heater, electric blanket, oil heater. Electric heater, refrigerator, TV is a must. Remove the speaker wires from the TV. Everyone wears bone conduction headphones to avoid noise. Disagreement over electric hot pot and microwave. Father-in-law thinks the electric hot pot uses too much electricity. The microwave heats food quickly. I think the microwave has high instantaneous power. It's loud and not safe. Air conditioner, energy consumption and noise. Debating about foot spa basin and mahjong machine. Decided not to bring the wooden basin and the hand-operated mahjong with sponge and silicone stickers. Massage gun and massage chair. Each person brings 2 types. Audio equipment and fragile items. Bring all. All tableware replaced with metal. Robot vacuum. Smart toilet. Gave up on the RV portable toilet. Calculate total power. No problem as long as not all running at full power. Besides 2 sets of blade battery packs. Also 10 battery packs for peak demand. Drove my father-in-law home. I got home at 2 a.m. Progress is on schedule. Even ahead. Need to speed up a bit more. Leave time to handle changes. Fill in gaps and check for leaks. I once heard someone say that in the future, clean air will be sold like purified water. Now I deeply agree. The hot, dry air dries out the body's moisture, yet is filled with a stench of decay. I leaned over the rooftop edge and vomited. The vomit rained down on a zombie's head. He didn't mind, just focused on the scent of humans. I observed that the zombie rat's mobility is greatly reduced. They can't climb the glass curtain wall brackets. Insects aren't affected by the virus. Flies and mosquitoes fly normally. Suddenly, a mosquito bites the back of my hand. I swat it dead, but I see the skin on my hand is torn open. The exposed flesh is black. The blackness spreads up my arm. My arm goes numb and stiff. I scream in terror. I see my wife coming up to the rooftop. A swarm of mosquitoes flies toward her. Don't come over, there are mosquitoes. I lunge toward her. Everything spins around. I see the bedroom ceiling. Another nightmare. It's June 22nd. I realize I chose the wrong shelter. Is it too late to switch places? Sitting on the toilet, recalling the dream. Only one zombie downstairs from the cold storage. It didn't attract survivors or zombie hordes. Zombies' motor functions are destroyed by the virus. Mosquitoes aren't infected, but they can spread the virus. The cold storage's pest control is better than nothing. We must fully prevent mosquitoes and flies. I call my senior, asking for advice on building pest control. Rodent, mosquito, and fly-proof design. My senior invites me to visit his chocolate factory. My wife and sister-in-law tag along shamelessly. They come to make pure chocolate at the factory. Full process, fermentation, roasting, grinding, tempering, Packaging. He explains in detail the barrier devices at key positions. Multiple optical trap and kill devices. Active and passive trap and kill devices. Chemical isolation zones. I take lots of photos. I ask him to help design a similar space. I get supplier info and pack 2 big boxes of chocolate. On the way back, my wife orders the full set of equipment based on the supplier info. We make the rodent barriers, insect screens, and chemical troughs ourselves. We detour to the 4S shop for a full service on Tang. Check the battery and motor. Replace with run flat tires. Apply matte black wrap and privacy film. We have Japanese food for lunch. We won't get fresh seafood anymore. On the way to the cold storage, I custom order 2 stainless steel cages on wheels, sized for Tang and Denza D9. Cage covers the car with a 30cm gap, referencing tank slat armor, using 5cm by 5cm 3mm thick stainless steel angle iron welded. After getting home, we rivet stainless steel sheets to make louvers, then weld them to the car's main beams and roof rack. The cage wheels touch the ground. The car body doesn't exceed limits. Defense is greatly improved. It can crash through drywall and zombie hordes. At the cold storage, we organize the chocolate and pest control items. After discussing with my father-in-law about blowing up the stairs and sealing the platform top, we decide to use a forklift to close it with cement roof panels and cement it smooth as one piece if time allows. In the afternoon, I take the Denza D9 to the 4S shop for service, change tires, and apply film. The extra film is for the sisters to apply. At night, we drill holes in the staircases on both sides. I prepare the explosives for blowing up the stairs on the 5th floor. In the morning, I packed the charges, only leaving the detonators with leads. Blew the elevator. Found my father-in-law had already replaced the panel. Didn't know the password. No one could get to the 4th floor. Got to the 1st floor. Found my father-in-law sleeping in the car. Had breakfast. He went with the 3 ladies to stock up on clothes today. I bought plant seeds and fertilizer, hydroponic trays and seedling boxes. Chose hardy, fast-growing vegetables that need low light. Edible mushrooms and beans. Also brought a cage of quails. Just went with the flow. At noon, the processing plant told me the cages were ready. I sent the agricultural supplies to the cold storage. Switched to a truck to haul the cages. Bought razor wire on the way. Seamless steel pipes. 5,000 powder actuated nails. Back to the cold storage. My father-in-law and the others came back too. Bought bedding, towels, and toilet paper, feminine hygiene products, toiletries and such. Everything was packed full. The ladies organized the stock. My father-in-law and I welded steel plates onto the iron cage. By 9 p.m., it was mostly done. Stainless steel strips were attached to the outer walls, spaced 2 inches apart, wrapped razor wire around the outside. The entrance is at the top. Gravity stainless steel bars lock the lid. 12 spring-loaded swivel casters distribute the weight, sprayed with matte black paint, waiting to assemble on the 27th. Went back to my father-in-law's for dinner. My sister-in-law handed me a list. Brother-in-law, the medical supplies and equipment are insufficient. Also, the storage method is problematic. Common medications are enough, but anti-inflammatory and gastrointestinal meds, iodine, disinfectant, saline solution, gauze and such are insufficient. We also need 2 refrigerators, pressure cooker and a distilled water generator. We have a freezer. Why do we need 2 refrigerators? Different medications require different storage temperatures. To avoid temperature fluctuations from opening the door, we also need to stock up on animal rabies vaccine, tetanus shots. Fine, let's just go big. 1 freezer for bedroom 801. Take a separate compact fridge from home. 22 pounds of sterile absorbent cotton. 2.2 pounds of sterile gauze. 20 disposable gas masks. 12 powered respirators. 4 level 3 protective suits. 11 pounds of penicillin and 2.2 pounds of pure penicillin powder. Pack vitamins and probiotics. Only know after everything is ready. 2.2 pounds of vitamin C only costs $40. After 6 days of preparation, enter the final stage. In the past 5 days, we've covered food, clothing, shelter, and transportation. All around preparation. All clothing was sent to the shelter. Each person has a year's supply of replacement underwear, multiple sets of polar winter clothes, high-grade protective suits for summer and winter, lightweight mosquito and insect protection suits. The cats and dogs also get modified pet raincoats as protective suits. 1,718 cubic feet of frozen vegetarian food. Chicken, duck, beef, lamb, pork, and fish. 110 cubic feet of room temperature supplies. 50 bags of rice. 30 bags of mixed grains. 15 bags of flour. 10 barrels of soybean oil. 110 pounds of butter. 33 pounds of seasonings and noodles, etc. 150 square feet of hydroponic growing area. A crate of quails. Plenty of pet food. 1,650 pounds of biodegradable cat litter. Denza D9, modified into an armored vehicle. Store 317 gallons of gasoline between the body and the cage. Father-in-law used seamless pipes and check valves to connect the fuel tank and the oil drum, so you can refuel without getting out. Total mileage range exceeds 3,000 kilometers. Each vehicle has 6 sets of outdoor protective suits, plus active respirators, 60 ultraviolet sterilization water storage tanks, 2 medical kits, 3 blankets, 2 spare outfits per person, 60 servings of emergency rations. Corresponding reserves are also on the roof and in the cage. The car is parked inside the first floor loading door, hidden behind a false wall made of light steel studs and drywall. Living on the 12th floor is a construction site. Metal items are stored on the 4th floor. To outsiders, it looks like abandoned wasteland. The 4th floor's water and electricity pipes are tightly sealed. A sticky sealing material mixed with foaming agent. The 35th floor is vacant to mislead intruders, not visible from the elevator. After the stairs on the 4th floor are blown up, the 4th floor is completely isolated. The 4th floor cold storage area, divided into living area, storage area, garbage disposal area, farming area. The living area is wrapped with soundproof walls, a 90 decibel sound, not audible outside the building. The whole family agreed to live at low volume. Storage area, 40 pallets, arranged like a chessboard. Warehouse management code board, for easy retrieval. Garbage disposal area, includes toilet and solid waste treatment. Soundproof operating room, compress solid waste into bricks, stacked in. A garbage room filled with UV and ozone. Farming area is the future source of vegetables and fresh meat. Appliances, besides the planned fridge, washing machine, TV, etc. Also added an electric pressure cooker. Brought 2 small drones and a crop protection drone. Cut the original water, electricity, and elevator power in the building. Destroyed the first floor water purification equipment. Key components removed, disguised as a robbed homeowner, so as to properly conceal the building body. We utilized the power generating glass. Water and electricity are sufficient. I lay in bed reviewing the preparations. Still felt a hint of panic. Took a deep breath. Got up to do the finishing touches. Woke up at 6. Cut power to home appliances. At 7, the whole family had breakfast. Told my mom we're going on a trip today. She's already packed. Was picked up by my father-in-law to go to the shelter. At 9, movers arrived to move appliances and my mom's supplies. Loaded onto the truck and secured to pallets. At 10:12, moving ended. Closed the door and settled the bill. 11:48, drove the truck on the highway detour to the cold storage. The security guard had gone to the city. Don't know if he'll turn into a zombie. 12:20, forklift helped unload. Took upstairs. Found my mom. Take her. Sent the truck to a warehouse 12 kilometers away. Mom, you can issue warnings here. Won't expose the shelter. Half an hour later, the old lady finished her call. We rushed back. 5 minutes ago. TikTok already has videos of zombies biting people. 12 kilometers of road. Made it back in less than 10 minutes. Mother-in-law and wife were at the first floor elevator, waiting anxiously. Backed the car into the hiding spot. The iron cage was suspended in midair. Installed the false wall. Parked the forklift at the first floor elevator. Disassemble the battery circuit board. The elevator goes to the top floor. I slide down the pole back to the car. Secure the cage. When my father-in-law pulls me back upstairs, it's already past 3 in the afternoon. The city is a living hell. No time to rest. I grab ammonium nitrate and detonators from the 5th floor. Carefully, place them into the 220 blast holes on the stairs and platform. Plug in the wires. My wife, watching the monitors, confirms no zombies around. I press the detonator. With the soundproofing, the blast sounds like a knock on the door, but the rumble of the collapsing stairs is loud. The monitors show it worked. Just a lot of dust. Half an hour later, someone on duty asks where. No one replies to the explosion post. I do a quick patrol. Defenses, water, and power are fine. We officially hole up. For dinner, to celebrate the move, we bring out fresh veggies and cola. The TV plays an emergency news bulletin. The anchor tells everyone to stay home and wait for rescue. My phone gets a survey from the neighborhood committee. We choose to stay silent. Not in the community. No supplies needed. We'll reply if there's relocation info later. After dinner, my mom and mother-in-law go to sleep. My father-in-law and I argue over who takes the first watch. I end up on duty the first night. My father-in-law already cut the feed from the guard room. Switched to the living area. A small cubicle becomes the monitoring room. 8 screens show the factory and the shelter inside and out. No audio, but I can see everything. The streets on the screens are empty. Solar streetlights come on. This is the edge of the industrial zone. Farmland behind us. The nearest housing complex is 3 kilometers away. It hasn't been handed over yet. Hardly anyone ever came here. Now it's even emptier. I watch the monitors and scroll through the news. The virus is spreading from the provincial capital. The army is mobilized but can't bring themselves to shoot civilians, just like in the beta. At dawn, my sister-in-law takes over. Still no cars or people on the monitors. I set an alarm for 10 and go to sleep. In the beta, a little after 10, the old gatekeeper comes back. He gets bitten by a child zombie on the way, turns into one at the factory, and gets killed by me and the workers. I rush back to the city, see my mom's body but can't get in. My in-laws' place. I loot the Pinduoduo City warehouse for food, and reunite with my wife. In the end, we run out of food and have to risk going out. Before 10, I wake up, brush my teeth with pet-safe toothpaste. The taste is indescribable. My mother-in-law brings out century egg and lean pork, congee, and pickled veggies. I remember yesterday's leftovers. She laughs and says, "The food waste all went to the dogs." No need for a garbage disposal. I decide to cut back on dog food. Keep the biscuits for myself as a treat. The dumb dog has no clue. After eating, I put the dishes in the 16-place dishwasher. Notice yesterday's dishes from the gathering. Don't even fill it halfway. I walk to the monitor station, just in time to see the old gatekeeper coming back on his scooter. His hand keeps twitching. Obviously, he's been bitten. He enters the gate, parks the bike and goes inside. A few minutes later, the guard stumbles out, collapses to the ground. My sister-in-law nervously grabs my sleeve. Is he dead? Dead, but not quite dead. I point at the screen. The old man's legs are kicking. Suddenly, he flips over. He attacks back with a strange arched back move. He gets up, his skin pale gray, dark veins visible. My sister-in-law watches the zombie with great interest. I go back to the living room, put on headphones, and watch a show with my wife. Day 3 of the outbreak. Wastewater storage tanks are full, 12 of them. 22 black water tanks, 3 are full. I announce to the family that we'll start the first sewage disposal. When dumping the toilet black water tank, we compare the effects of 2 times, 15 times, and 125 times the deodorizer and degradation agent. We decide to go with 15 times the dosage from now on. There are 2 5-ton wastewater tanks. Both are equipped with UV ozone disinfection. One stores well water with rolling updates. The other stores wastewater. 30 is the sludge settling area. Outlets for sewage at 10 and 50. The wastewater is also used to flush pipes. Release 100 kilograms of wastewater to flush feces. 10 kilograms of clean water to flush the pipes. Shut the sewage pipe. Wash hands and disinfect. Go back to the living area. My sister-in-law is observing the zombie. They have no sight. They can sense light and fear the sun. They hide in shadows and are sensitive to sound. They move stiffly. The higher the temperature, the less agile they are. They lack a sense of smell. Can't tell yet. Consistent with my memory. The internet is full of distress messages. The government encourages people to stay home and wait for authorization. The military is shooting infected and plans to first build small towns and villages. Safe zones are being gradually cleared. There are many survivors in the community group. Most didn't make it. They start trading food. I regret not installing external surveillance at home. Day 5 of the outbreak. The area around the shelter remains quiet. Only that zombie is wandering around. It won't bend down. The factory pedestrian passage is half open. The passage is a head shorter than it. Each time it bumps into it a few times, then wanders off. Negative emotions spread online. Some spread rumors that overseas is unaffected. Overseas compatriots immediately post videos to debunk the lies. The authorities announced a first safe zone. Building information, but the comments section remains chaotic. Quick, a car is coming. My wife shouts in the earpiece. I dash into the surveillance room. I see a white SUV driving unsteadily toward us. The front left tire is flat. The driver wants to enter the factory to change the tire. The factory's sliding gate uses license plate recognition. Now it only has recording function. Any plate can get in. The car drives right in. The zombie hears the noise, walks toward the gate. The driver stops near the gate, gets out to find tire sealant and work on it. The zombie is already more than halfway there. The driver just stands up and sees the zombie 10 meters away, scrambles back into the car, starts the car and backs onto the main road. Once the gate opens, he speeds off. My wife and I let out a long sigh of relief. Our palms are sweaty. We complain that he ran off, but left the zombies behind. On the 10th day, water and power went out. The internet lasted less than 20 hours. Only solar streetlights kept modern civilization alive. We were plunged into an information blackout, living off our stash of TV shows and movies. To avoid mental issues, my sister-in-law led exercise sessions. Limited TV time. My father-in-law built a makeshift antenna. The signal was weak, but we could pick up TV stations. Channel 1 broadcast national announcements. Provincial station aired emergency notices. The neighboring province's station reported that they had many troops and strong industry, better power and control. On day 15, TV reported the neighboring province had set up safe zones. The largest was an industrial zone. There, farming and production resumed. Our bottleneck came. Fresh veggies and meat were gone. Only freeze-dried remained. Rehydrated veggies tasted bad. Frozen meat too. The 3 elderly lost their appetites. On day 40, the provincial station showed an anchor for the first time. The first safe zone in our province was at a military training base in the southern mountains. Troops were training there when it broke out. After fending off zombies, they actively went out and rescued many people. The farthest reach was the provincial capital. The news advised citizens to decide based on their supplies and safety whether to go to the safe zone or wait. We had plenty of supplies. Our defenses were solid, and escape was reliable. We decided to stay. "Who is this news for?" my wife suddenly asked. My father-in-law slapped his forehead. "Forgot the radio." My mother got out the Bluetooth speaker she used for square dancing. The radio was broken. My father-in-law opened it and found a burnt capacitor. He swapped it with one from the massager. After fixing it, we picked up national, provincial, and city stations. All were about safe zones. We also picked up the local military airport's TAC and beacon. I tried searching for the Northern Radio Enthusiasts DB channel. Suddenly a panicked voice came through. "Too many zombies. zombies, like a tidal wave. A zombie horde coming from the north. My sister-in-law analyzed. Zombies are less active and cold, so migrating south is a primitive trait. Can they breed? My wife's imagination ran wild. I pulled her back to the room to look at data. We both felt like throwing up. My sister-in-law calculated that the zombies downstairs, 200 meters, took 3 minutes, about 4 kilometers per hour, at most 8 hours a day. 1,300 kilometers would take 40 days, plus crossing cities and being exposed to sunlight. It's normal I didn't see them in the beta. Heavy rain washed the solar panels. Power generation was over 80 kilowatt-hour a day. After a month without any sound leaking out, we relaxed the noise restrictions. The first harvest of hydroponic vegetables. The elderly's appetites improved. The quails started laying eggs, but that increased food consumption. We hadn't planned chicken feed, nor grown staple crops. After observing for 5 days, 16 chickens only eat eggs. Staple food reduced by 1 month. Every 6 months they brood and replace. Reduced by 3 months. Keep 15 after a democratic vote. 9 hens. Brood once every 9 months. Day 55 of the outbreak. It's a past life. The days when my father-in-law and mother-in-law went missing. In that past life, we used hand signals across the river to signal safety until there was no response. Now the whole family is reunited. We organize a feast to celebrate. Bring out the treasured drinks, desserts and popsicles. My father-in-law and I grilled lamb skewers and lamb chops. During dinner, the TV broadcasts an emergency alert. Multiple waves of northern zombie hordes have breached several small safe zones. The horde is getting stronger, moving south at 35 kilometers per hour. We stare blankly at the video. Zombies pile up at the safe zone, climbing over the walls. Day 70 of the massacre outbreak. My father-in-law and I check the defenses. The platform after blowing up the stairs made into a slope to prevent zombies from piling up and standing. The good news is the first batch of furnace-hatched eggs has hatched. Sustainable meat plan progresses. Day 90 of the outbreak. The leading edge of the zombie horde stops due to high temperatures. Afterwards, zombies continue to concentrate in the north, 400 kilometers away. North bank of the big river. Safe zones increase in various places. The nearest is 50 kilometers from us, but the small safe zone's walls, afraid they can't withstand the horde. The sewage tank has been used for 3 months. A lot of solid waste has settled at the bottom. Taking advantage of the rain, we drain the water, remove the sediment, dry it while power is sufficient, compress into blocks, stack in the solid waste area. The whole family wears protective suits and respirators. My wife monitors the cameras and the cats and dogs. Others handle the stench-filled work, but we smile and say, these clay tablets will be discovered centuries later. Will they count as historical records? Day 150 of the outbreak. The temperature drops. The country resumes weather forecasts. The insulation of the cold storage is warm in winter and cool in summer. The crops in the planting area are lush. Harvest multiple rounds of lettuce and chives. Suddenly, my sister-in-law shouts in the headset that something is wrong. A beeping sound from the radio. Panic again. They're here again. More than last time. All foreigners. The roads can't hold them. For a week after that, we stay by the radio. Listen to him describe the scale of the horde and food shortages. Count our supplies. On TV, the nation announces airstrikes to blow up bridges, cut off the zombies' southward route, concentrate on eliminating zombies on the north bank. Over the next 50 days, from the northernmost point of the homeland southward, every few days, a bridge is blown up. News of zombies being eliminated. Day 220 of the outbreak. Temperature near zero. We check the water system and heating equipment. Set up flowing water to prevent freezing in hydroponics. Harvest what crops we can. Consolidate what can't be harvested into flowing water. The zombie groups reach the central river network. Are cut into small pieces. Low temperatures slow their movement. Becomes a good environment for elimination. Heavy snow seals the northern cities. Scattered zombies are cleaned up by the military. Reconstruction begins. Southern zombies continue moving south into our country. Take the opportunity to blow up bridges, cut off their route back north. Day 435 of the outbreak. The north and south are basically stable. Zombies are cleaned up. Central zombies are being gradually eliminated. Rescue is not far off. Today on the news, City B has had no survivors in the last 100 days. No distress signals. The country decides to drop bait in 10 days to lure the zombies from the rivers around City B and the river enclosed areas into City B. Use nukes to clean them out. The nukes are small, high yield, with low residual radiation, developed domestically. We look at each other in shock. Perfect for cleanup. We're about to be bombed. If you hide well, you get fed. No way we survive a nuke, right? What are you thinking? Pack up, run. Evacuation pickup at 6. Survival ends. 2 cars are ready at all times. Haven't been used in a year. The metrics are still good. My father-in-law and I talk it over. Keep the shelter sealed. Leave it for scavenging after rebuilding. Second, eat well before leaving. Keep up our strength. Third, in the safe zone, our supplies won't be confiscated. Fourth, bring seeds, hard-boiled quail eggs, staple grains, beans, explosives packed in 200-gram bundles, 2 kilos per car, self-defense items, dehydrated veggies, soft canned goods, chili sauce, total 120 kilos. In the car cage, 3 outfits per person, 10 sets of underwear and socks, battery packs and electronics, used for both defense and supplies. Before leaving, deal with the zombies in the compound. Put a chicken in the elevator, lure it into the elevator, close the door, cut the power. The hen lured the zombie. After it got in, we pressed the button on the 4th floor and closed the door. The elevator went up, then we cut the power. Heard the chicken scream. After eating the chicken, the zombie just roams inside. Released 3 chickens, let them roam the compound for a day and a night. Confirmed it's safe. We put on protective suits and go down to the 1st floor. Remove the fake wall. The government uses bait to lure zombies out of the city. We see military drones, hovering low, dropping live bait, playing music, to lead the zombies north. We launch our drone for the first time, and come face to face with a military drone. The next day, they drop a package at the meeting point. We retrieve it with our drone, disinfect it, and inside is a military walkie-talkie. They confirm the evacuation time, route, pickup method, quarantine and disinfection instructions, safe zone details, personal property protection and rationing, job descriptions, and a list of urgently needed supplies. I have a new idea. Besides our own items, we'll split the rest 50-50 with the government. The 3 old folks don't work, but they want the same treatment. After negotiation, the government agrees. They even send troops to pick us up and help carry the supplies. We wait 2 days. The day after the zombies are lured away, we see on the monitor a convoy approaching, and the glorious military flag. My survival in the apocalypse ends smoothly.